Tesla started releasing the version 13 of its full self-driving software to early testers, employees. Why do we care about this? Well, of course, longer term, Tesla has plans for full autonomy, so it's another step in that direction, but it's actually quite an important step because this is the stack. So, previously they were on version 12. Version 13, which should have a number of iterations, is what they plan on launching a robotaxi network with. That will be next year. What's different about this than past software launches? The biggest difference is that you can start from park, it can shift, and you can park at your destination. So basically, you're getting the features of like what is actually an end-to-end drive for the first time. I feel like often, so to be clear, FSD right now is not perfect, right?
Plus FS, why should we care about this? Well, in the long run, Tesla plans for complete autonomy, so this is another step in that direction. However, it's actually a very significant step because this is the stack, so previously they were on version 12. Tesla began releasing the version 13 of its full self-driving software to all early testers' employees. They intend to deploy a robotaxi network with version 13, which should have several updates next year. What distinguishes this software launch from previous ones, you ask? The main distinction is that you can begin in the parking lot, it can move, and you can park when you get there. In essence, you are experiencing for the first time what an end-to-end drive is like in terms of features. It seems to me that FSD isn't flawless at the moment, just to be clear. Even though I don't have version 13, my automobile does feature eye tracking technology. I believe that people frequently ask, well, how are they able to launch when I still have to take over in these specific scenarios or when it doesn't work in bad weather or something? Since it's there are still interventions is the main idea. And I believe that the main point that is perhaps not discussed enough is that they will probably start with remote operators. It doesn't have to be flawless at launch. It simply needs to be excellent enough so that you can switch in this remote operator system when necessary. After all, that's what Wio and Cruise achieved. They most likely want to cut down on the length of time that the car is assisted by the remote human operators since, as you can see, the more you do that, the more complicated and expensive it will be. Yes, given we've discussed wireless charging a lot, I'll want to hear Sam's opinions. So, at the CyberCab event, they introduced wireless charging. According to my understanding, this service makes sense on a future scale since it eliminates the need for humans. The vehicle simply passes a pad that fully charges it on its own. If you look at the specifications of what they mentioned, it seems like it would be a very remarkable experience, even though you probably won't be in the car experiencing it when you use the robotaxi service. However, I believe they will first only make use of their current infrastructure. I anticipate that people will be the ones charging and cleaning the vehicle. Of course, why not assign part of that task to Optimus in the future? However, do they require that in order to launch in a single city? Most likely not. Accordingly, they announced that they would be starting in California and Texas. I'm kidding, although you could probably predict that it's somewhere like Anaheim or more generally the Silicon Valley region, followed by Austin. That's another excellent point, in my opinion, because I believe there is a lot of confusion here as well, because Tesla repeatedly tells the audience of car owners that they can sign up for the service and actually earn a respectable sum of money. In order to meet peak demand, I believe they are doing that to get people to sign up for their cars. I don't believe that every car you see at the initial launch has to be a client sign-up car. I don't think that's what they're going to be. They can, in my opinion, use a small fleet of their own automobiles in addition to customer vehicles. Customers desire that vitamin, therefore they want to make them enthused about it. They want to ensure that the volume is available when they need it, But in the long run, this is a fleet model, Therefore, I believe there will be third-party businesses who own and run the cars for Tesla, and that Tesla will keep a tiny fleet to itself. We've heard Tesla encouraging these businesses to sort of emerge. Yes, and let's not forget the current trends that have been going on for the past 10 or more years. Ride-hail has taken off, and fewer young people want their licenses. So this kind of fits in with what I believe has been going on for a while. Additionally, I believe that the appeal to owners is essentially a call to entrepreneurs once more to launch that fleet model. It's like, okay, maybe you don't want to sign up for your car, but maybe someone else sees, another person sees. There's an opportunity here and they want to buy like 30 cars or something. That seems to be a component of it as well, and there are pockets of people who are already engaging in this behavior. I saw on X that someone in Europe owns a fleet of Teslas, and this is exactly how they want to use them when the service is available there. Therefore, I don't think the proposal is overly crazy. I believe that those folks are already out there. All that needs to be done for it to succeed is to provide them with incentives and, put the programs logistics in place. If you consider the New York City taxi medallion model, it usually consists of a single holder, numerous drivers, and so on. Alternatively, you may see that one individual possesses multiple medallions, which implies various cars. Thus, I believe it to be a part of history. We're in the ride-hail space, I guess. Indeed, it doesn't seem to be functioning that way these days. However, we discovered that Uber and Wio have partnered to house and repair automobiles for the first time. Therefore, I believe that the ride-hail companies are realizing that this is sort of the business model of the future. And they might not survive if they don't change. With what Wio is doing now, I believe we're witnessing the beginnings of it. Indeed, it appears as though it could be Wio's strategy. After launching their own business, Wio chose to collaborate with Uber. I believe that their lack of a scaled fleet is one of the possible explanations for their actions. Therefore, they most likely wish to add to a larger fleet in order to provide clients with competitive service times. Sharing economics, however, is the clear reason why Tesla should not do that. Well, you know why anyone should not, for any business to refrain from doing that. However, as we know from Sam's work that the operating costs of an electric vehicle are already lower than those of a gas-powered car, we've actually published a blog post that demonstrates that Teslas, if Tesla were to launch with human drivers today, they could already undercut the price of Uber by a small margin. As you are aware, Tesla has a wonderful verticalized structure that, in my opinion, offers several benefits. Since Tesla is a vertically integrated manufacturer, I believe they are not in the Wio position where they will need to form partnerships. It's doubtful, but I'm not saying it's completely ruled out. Well, that's not exactly Tesla's style, and I'd be shocked. They're more of a do-it-yourself kind of thing, and depending on the market, I believe a number of things are similar. We are aware that, for example, if you're an Asian customer, you may be used to using these amazing apps, and that user behavior may differ there. Continues. Please inform me if you would need the remaining areas cleaned as well, asterisk.